The member for Thornhill.
Mr. Speaker, I move second reading of Bill 30, an act to require the establishment of an advisory committee to make recommendations to the Minister of Transportation and the Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services for the improvement of highway incident management.
Mrs. Martow has moved second reading of Bill 30, an act to require the establishment of an advisory committee to make recommendations to the Minister of Transportation and the Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services for the improvement of highway incident management. Pursuant to Standing Order 98, the member has 12 minutes for her presentation. The member for Thornhill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I begin, I'd like to take a moment to thank those who have given me their time, effort and knowledge in order to bring Bill 30, an act to require the establishment of an advisory committee to make recommendations to the Minister of Transportation and the Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services for the improvement of highway incident management to fruition. Many professionals were consulted at multiple stages of this bill, and their insight and advice were instrumental in constructing it. I thank them for their efforts. Mr. Speaker, the purpose of this bill is clear and simple: to improve our highways. To date, our ability to quickly and effectively clear accidents off our highways is lacking. In too many instances, our emergency response times are far too slow and our technology is too outdated to provide Ontarians with the support they need after an accident. As such, improving road safety and efficiency should be of utmost importance to all of us. Establishing a committee that would be required to report their findings on various issues currently plaguing Ontario's roads would be a giant step towards achieving a much-needed improvement to our highways. Highways in southern Ontario, particularly in the Greater Toronto Area, are among the busiest in the world. Just one section of Highway 401 in Toronto has a daily traffic count of close to 400,000 vehicles. With such high usership, it is easy to see how even one accident can affect Ontario's road system and all of its users. Highway stoppages and closures for any length of time have severe social and economic impacts on all Ontario residents. Inefficient accident management results in far too many missed business meetings, family outings, or other important personal events because of traffic blockages on Ontario roadways. It also directly correlates to a loss in personal and government revenue that we so desperately need to fund our healthcare, education, and social programs. Mr. Speaker, Bill 30 requires the Minister of Transportation and Community Safety and Correctional Services to convene an advisory committee comprised of individuals and staff who are experts in traffic incident management to look at 4 major issues with regards to highway safety and accident management and report back within 8 months after its establishment. They are as follows. 1. Providing public education programs to improve driver behaviour in circumstances involving highway incidents. 2. Reducing the time for appropriate authorities to detect and verify highway incidents and to clear highways after the occurrence of highway incidents. 3. Providing timely and accurate information about highway incidents to drivers. And 4. Enhancing the safety and security of Ontario's highways. It is high time, Mr. Speaker, that we begin to address the benefits of improving highway incident management. Let's begin by taking a closer look at some of the crippling issues that we as Ontarians face on our highways. First of all, we all know that in Ontario, traffic is one of the biggest challenges that we face. Daily commute times can sometimes reach over 2 hours during rush hour, preventing residents from getting to or from home and work in time for important business, personal, or family events. With one of the longest commute times in North America, our government should be doing everything it can to alleviate the stress of driving on our highways. Secondly, there are too many accidents on our highways. With so many people in a rush, drivers tend to ignore speed limits and other safety precautions, forgetting everything they have learned in driver's ed and instead opting for the fastest and most convenient, yet oftentimes not the safest choices while driving. Accidents are what take normal rush hour traffic and turn rush hour into sluggish 4 hours. Thirdly, emergency vehicles often have difficulty reaching accident sites quickly. This causes unnecessary delays in reopening the highways and endangers the lives of individuals affected by an accident. Slow emergency response times are detrimental to those injured by the initial accident, as well as every driver that follows behind the accident scene. Finally, an adequate supply of modern equipment and trained staff is required to conduct effective and fast incident investigations. As it stands, incident investigators cite a lack of such equipment. This greatly increases the time required for necessary police investigations before clearing of the highway can take place. It also means that we as a province are not keeping up with the times. Mr. Speaker, many states in the U.S. have begun creating task forces to streamline their highway incident management protocols into manuals and useful policies that have cut average delay times in half. Florida's open roads policy has been particularly successful, and I encourage everyone to take a look at their program. Other major cities such as Atlanta and Las Vegas have also adopted similar task forces in combination with their Georgia and Nevada state counterparts. Through the establishment of a qualified committee, Ontario will obtain a more holistic understanding of best practices for highway incident management. This will include issues that are often overlooked, such as protecting emergency service workers at the scene of an accident, distinguishing roles for various types of emergency service personnel at the scene of an accident, and the extent of a public servant's liability for the actions they take while at the scene of an accident. Mr. Speaker, these are just a couple of examples of overlooked issues when it comes to managing accidents on the highway. Some of the more obvious issues that I foresee the committee addressing are providing generic recommendations to enhance the overall safety and security of Ontario's highways, increasing public education programs to improve driver awareness and behaviour at the scene of an accident, finding alternative and more effective methods of capturing photographs for insurance purposes, and updating and improving overall highway technology to A, prevent accidents in all driving conditions, B, alert future highway users to stoppages and or road closures, and C, provide alternative routes to highway users. Mr. Speaker, I recently met with representatives of the 407 electronic toll route. They discussed efforts underway to implement a helicopter-type drone used to photograph major collisions in an attempt to hasten the opening of highways after an incident. This is actually a pilot project that they're working on and studying with the OPP. They use small drones in the air that shoot approximately 150 photos of each crash site. The whole process takes about 15 minutes. And it's supervised by operators on the ground that are operating the drones. The pictures are later electronically stitched together. I'm told that the same job on the ground can take up to 3 hours. Safety officials and incident investigators have anticipated that, in most cases, this will definitely reduce time on the scene and, in turn, the amount of time that the roads have to be closed. There are 4 major issues that affect highway closure time. Restoration of the highway, because often the highways can be damaged by accidents. Towing services, how fast and how long it takes for the towing services to get to the accident scene. Recovery time and personal injuries, and unfortunately sometimes fatalities. These are not insurmountable problems. Setting up a committee to streamline procedures such as what equipment is necessary for what type of incidents are just one of the many ways to alleviate traffic congestion as a result of an incident. Implementing improvements to the province's highway incident management protocol should be a high priority for the government. Keeping highways fast, efficient and effective is critical to the economic prosperity of our province. Creating a committee is the first step towards establishing a more streamlined approach to what is fast becoming a rampant problem across Ontario. The positive effects of what a committee may find with regards to improved highway incident management are numerous and substantial. They include, but are not limited to, improved public health and safety. When emergency vehicles can reach the scene of an accident quickly, they can begin life-saving and highway clearing procedures more efficiently. Reducing the number and duration of highway incidents can also have a positive impact on reducing vehicle emissions and improving air quality. Improved driver behaviour. The possibility of joint public and private driver's ed programs with sections devoted to highway accident behaviour would educate drivers on how to behave if they are caught in an incident on the highway. This would substantially improve driver awareness and help to reduce road rage or aggressive reactions from other drivers. 3. Enhance competitiveness. Economic efficiency results when goods and labour can arrive at their destinations in a timely and predictable manner. This does not happen when incidents on the highway slow traffic. Additionally, a committee would be able to review best practices for the recovery of goods and valued objects should a tow truck be involved in an accident. I meant a truck, not just a tow truck, so I apologize. Investment in our province, a reputation for efficient transportation systems can be an important Ontario asset when economic development players are selling the province as an investment location. Fewer disruptions to local communities when highways are closed, coordinating rerouting of major highway traffic through secondary roads as required under road closure action plans can reduce the impacts on traffic flow. Better road efficiency can lead to increased private investment in transportation partnerships. We need better traffic flow, private sector transportation and engineering consortia which can recognize the benefits of investigating in transportation projects that can lead to investments in improvements in our system of highways. And we could be a model, obviously, for other Canadian jurisdictions. Mr. Speaker, once an incident is detected and confirmed, the response and clearance must be managed so as to preserve and protect human life, maintain a reasonable level of safety for all participants, minimize delays to the traveling public, and minimize damage to public and private property. In a major incident, these are complex and often competing factors. Successful incident management can be facilitated by high-tech equipment, but is largely dependent on interagency coordination, education, and on-site personnel. Once again, and excuse me for sounding a bit repetitive, but the establishment of the committee is the first step in streamlining all of these complicated facets. Mr. Speaker, we can do better. Other cities, states, and nations have been upstaging us in this area for years. We should be ashamed at our lackluster and hodgepodge response protocol. Mr. Speaker, right now drivers don't even know the rules of the road. They don't know the responsibilities when they're in an accident. What I'm asking the Ministers of Transportation and Community Safety and Correctional Services to do with the passage of Bill 30 is to convene an advisory committee that aims to tackle these issues with innovative solutions. It's time to make our highways safer and more enjoyable for all Ontarians. It's time to feel confident about our highway system and to have a plan in place that puts Ontario back on top as a world leader in efficiency and traffic flow. It's time for Ontarians to spend more time doing the things that matter to them instead of getting stuck behind an accident. It's time to do better. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to my colleagues for all their interest. It is with that in mind that I hope all of you will support Bill 30.